This video is sponsored by XY&Z. The Pokémon anime has been airing for almost 25 years now, and with it came a lot of great moments. On the other side of that though, there have also been a couple of moments that would have been awesome, but just never came to fruition. Whether it be cool things from the games that never got into the anime or just big plans that got pushed to the side, the Pokémon anime has its fair share of missed opportunities. That's what we'll be going over in this video. And joining me is none other than Hoops and Hip Hop.
Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Hoops and Hip Hop, and it's great to be here. So we're going to be discussing some of these missed opportunities in generational order, and it should be a pretty fun time. Or more like a disappointing time, since these never actually happened.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting talk for sure. But regardless of that, thanks for coming along. Alright, now let's get started. So picture this, you're about to make a payment with your credit or debit card, so you pull out your fat ugly wallet, but you just can't seem to get the damn card out fast enough. Well, that's no longer a problem thanks to this video sponsor, XY&Z. XY is the world's largest smart wallet brand that designs innovative solutions to improve the way you carry your everyday items. What I love about this wallet is the fact that 1, it's slim and stylish, 2, it makes taking out your cards extremely easy thanks to this nifty switch on the side. I mean, check this out. And 3, it uses a solar-powered tracker that makes finding your lost wallet extremely easy. Seriously, all you gotta do is connect it to your phone via Bluetooth and you can easily track your wallet through an app. So what are you waiting for? Use the link below to get 20% off your order. We're starting off with our Generation 1 missed opportunity, and it's the fact that we never got a proper Ash vs Giovanni battle. When it came time for Ash to take on the Viridian City gym, Gary ended up beating Ash to the punch and got to challenge the gym first. This was the perfect way to set up a final boss battle, because Giovanni absolutely destroys Gary thanks to the power of Mewtwo. Unfortunately, it seems like the writers realized this would be a bit too OP for Ash, so instead he faces Team Rocket for the final badge. Huge downgrade, I know. I guess the only cool thing about this is the fact that they still got to use Giovanni's Pokemon at least, but still, it's not the same thing. Ash would finally meet Giovanni in the Mewtwo Return special, but they don't really have a battle here. That doesn't happen until Operation Tempest in Black and White. Now this would be the perfect opportunity for a battle, as Team Rocket were built up to be a lot more serious this series. But again, we got cheated, cause Ash is taken out in like 5 seconds. Big disappointment. It's such a shame because in the Pokemon games, the player character always ends up fighting the evil team leader, but Ash doesn't really get a proper showdown with one until X and Y against Lysander, which was awesome, but still, I think I'm not alone in saying that I still want to see Ash have that same kind of confrontation with Giovanni someday. This one doesn't count that much.
Another situation that probably comes to a lot of people's minds when talking about missed opportunities in the anime has to do with the GS Ball arc. If you need a refresher, basically the GS Ball was introduced during the Orange Island saga, and it was intended to be super important to the overarching plot leading into the Johto series, and would have culminated with Celebi being released from the ball when Ash and the gang finally figured out how to get it open. However, this intended storyline was dropped upon the development of the movie Pokémon Forever, which decided to steal Celebi as its featured Pokémon from the GS Ball arc, which is already a big bummer, but if you can believe it, it actually gets worse. There was actually a chance for this plot to be revisited in Pokemon Journeys, as we get to see the return of Azalea Town, which is the home of Kurt, who the GS Ball was ultimately left with before its plot was abandoned. But instead of referencing this at all, the anime decided to make this the first episode ever out of over 1100 episodes where Ash does not appear at all, as the episode focuses on Go instead. This is honestly insulting if I'm being completely honest, and seems like a pretty desperate attempt to avoid this abandoned storyline about 20 years after it was written, instead of just wrapping it up in an alternate way, which would have made a lot of fans very happy.
Continuing with Generation 2, we have the Ash vs Richie rematch we should have gotten in the Johto League. Their first and only match was during the Indigo League, and that was garbage. The infamous ending with Charizard refusing to battle was just a terrible way for Ash to go out, and he honestly deserved some sort of redemption. Well, the Johto League would have been the perfect opportunity to do that, but we never got that. Richie is nowhere to be seen in the Johto League. And you wanna know what makes things worse? Is the fact that we know Richie's in Johto because he appeared during the very same season in the Lugia arc. So like, why leave him out? Did the writers just forget about him? Clearly not, because he reappears in Pokemon Chronicles. Instead of facing random trainers like Salvador, Jackson, or Macy, actually I take that back, Macy can stay. We could have gotten an awesome rematch between Ash and Richie that would have showcased Ash's growth since the Indigo League.
One of the most significant places in the Pokemon world is the Sevi Islands, as it is literally an entire sub-region of Kanto, and is probably the biggest area in the games that isn't a region of its own. Despite that notoriety though, the Sevi Islands were not featured in the main anime, which is not only a huge missed opportunity, but also really strange in general. Firstly, the Sevi Islands were introduced in Gen 3 in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and would have been a fantastic way to promote those games if they had been featured in the anime. Secondly, Ash returned to Kanto around this time anyway to challenge the Battle Frontier, which honestly would have made way more sense to put in the Sevi Islands, because it would give a valid reason for Ash and the gang to go there, which would have promoted Emerald version and Fire Red and Leaf Green at the same time, and would have made way more canonical sense in terms of us hearing nothing about the Battle Frontier's existence prior to this, despite Ash having traveled completely through Kanto years earlier. It would have been the smoothest of moves from a marketing standpoint, but no, we only get the Sevi Islands in a single forgettable episode of Pokemon Chronicles instead.
Now time for Generation 4. Not gonna lie, it's kinda hard to think of a missed opportunity considering I really love Diamond and Pearl and I don't know what they could have done better with such a perfect series. Oh, yeah. Why didn't we get a Sinnoh Battle Frontier arc? Like seriously, we got this awesome battle facility added in Pokemon Platinum, we got the perfect tease and setup during the Twin Leaf Festival, and then it's just never brought up again. You know what hurts the most about this? Is that having Ash take on the Sinnoh Battle Frontier could have easily solved Diamond and Pearl's biggest issue, its pacing. Because Diamond and Pearl had to last 4 years, we got a lot of filler throughout the series, and even caused a 1-year gap between Ash's 7th and 8th gym battle. Even if there was a lot going on between that gap, it's still pretty bad if you ask me. Having a Battle Frontier arc take place after or even before the Sinnoh League would have made the series pacing a lot better. But nope, instead we just got episodes like Piplup Love Triangle, the gang getting stuck at Valley Windworks, Corey catching Gibble, Dawn losing to James, Pikachu and Piplup falling in love, Piplup getting jealous of Gibble, Meowth falling in love. You see the point?
When it comes to the Best Wishes series, there's a lot of things we could say are wrong with it, but one big missed opportunity in particular is that we never got a battle between N and Ash, or any kind of conflict at all really. We got a tease that something was going to happen in the first episode with the Zekrom cameo, but Zekrom never appeared again after that, and unfortunately, it was a sign that this whole plotline would eventually fizzle out altogether. This isn't exactly one that we can hold against the writers entirely though, since Team Plasma's storyline was drastically changed following the scrapped Team Rocket vs Team Plasma episodes. And this kinda resulted in them using the Team Plasma from Black and White 2 more so than the Black and White 1 version, and this of course ended up making N more of a good guy with him facing off against Team Plasma instead of Ash. So it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances, but given how N is a huge antagonist in Gen 5, it would have been cool to see just a little more conflict between them.
Next, we move on to Generation 6, and it's the fact that we had 0 returning companions during the XY anime. Now to be fair, the series is pretty fine without it, but the anime has made it a tradition to bring back at least one companion per series, and it's usually one from the previous series. Well, if the anime kept up with this tradition, then we should have gotten Iris in XY. I feel like she was done so dirty. Maybe she could have had an episode involving Elite Four Drasna. That would have been so cool. Luckily, she finally made her triumphant return in Pokemon Journeys, but that still doesn't change the fact that we didn't get anybody during XY. Like at the very least, they could have even given us May to help promote Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Maybe having May there will help give Serena some inspiration for her performances, and maybe could have made her transition into doing contests a lot more smoother. I can't be alone when thinking that.
After 20 plus years of watching Ash's adventures, fans have pretty much given up on him catching every Pokemon like he originally tried to do, given how well he is currently doing in that department. But one Pokemon that he should have definitely got by now anyway is Eevee. Many fans wanted Ash to get an Espeon just like his in-game counterpart Red, considering they have basically all the same Pokemon anyway, but that never happened for some reason. Secondly, many of Ash's companions like May, Serena, Lana, and now even Chloe have had Eevees, but Ash has never had his turn to, and it's Lana's Eevee in particular that is really a shot to the heart, because hers came about as sort of a cross-promotion for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which were newly releasing at the time, with Eevee being a starter alongside Pikachu, by the way. I think you can see where I'm going with this, and this Eevee even appeared in a promotion alongside Ash, baiting everyone into thinking that Ash was finally going to get one of his own, but no. Of all characters, they gave it to Lana instead, which is kinda like an extra slap in the face because Lana isn't even that important, let's be honest.
Continuing with Generation 7, we have the fact that we never got proper closure for the Mons storyline in Sun and Moon. It would have been so cool to get an arc dedicated to finding Lily's father. Maybe it could have involved the gang traveling to the Ultra Beast's homeworld, seeing as how we didn't really get much of that in the anime. Like seriously, it was such a cool new addition in the Ultra games. I was honestly expecting it to show up in the anime in some way, but the only one we got to see was Ultra Deep Sea. Now sure, it seems like we could be getting the resolution in Journeys, but I feel like it would have been far more satisfying if we got that fully fleshed out and concluded in the same series.
And continuing with the Sun and Moon anime, another giant thing missing from it was Team Rainbow Rocket. This evil team is one of the coolest things that's been included in the games in recent memory, but it didn't get a chance to see any screen time whatsoever in the anime. Granted, it is kind of a wild scenario, so maybe wrapping that into an anime plot was just too hard or something, but there's no question it would have been awesome. Not to mention a nice way to sort of tease and lead into Pokemon Journeys with getting to see all the evil team leaders make a return. With the anime essentially being a marketing tool for the games, it's rather surprising that one of Ultra Sun and Moon's biggest new features didn't get featured in the anime, and it's a pretty big shame as well.
Last and 100% least is Generation 8's Galar Region. Unlike past generations, Gen 8's anime is having Ash travel all around the world as opposed to staying in one single region. Because of this, Galar isn't getting the same treatment as all the others, making it the least developed region in the entire series so far. It's kinda sad when you think about it, cause there's a lot of great elements from the Galar region that probably won't get shown off in the anime. What makes this even more frustrating is the fact that Ash's home base in this series is Cyrus Labs in Vermilion City. So whatever time that isn't spent region hopping is usually just spent in Kanto. Seriously, about 50% of this series so far is just spent in Kanto. If that was the case, then Cyrus Labs would have been far better off just being in Galar. Or heck, just make Ash stay at Professor Magnolia's lab instead. At least that way, the Galar region will be shown off a bit more. Now that was a big missed opportunity. Now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments some other missed opportunities from the Pokemon anime that weren't covered in this video. We look forward to seeing what you got. But for now, huge thanks to Hoops and Hip Hop for joining me. Over on his channel, we actually talk about some amazing cut content from the Pokemon anime, so be sure to check that out. Last but not least, make sure to live your life to the fullest and have yourself a damn good one.